Video game bang, video game bang, video game bang. Video game. Mega brand. Live from the sack, it's the livest. In fact, I'm putting rhymes on this track to put my guys on the map. Updates, geek news, tech talk, and reviews. They can summarize it so you ain't gotta breeze through. Listen once and you're forever fans. And I'm not saying it because their theme song features Mega Ram, the ultimate source of all geek media. Other podcasts, they just don't match up. Need proof? You can check the archives and catch up. Stats off the chain, we have rearranged the game. It'll never be the same. Now it's time to feel the bang.
Bang! What is up, everybody? Cory, Vincent here. Video Game Bang is back. It's Friday. I like doing the show on Friday because there's a Friday vibe that's a little different than regular shows on Wednesdays. It's like Wednesday's hump day, man. You know, nobody likes hump day. Everybody likes Friday. And celebrating Friday is my favorite mustachioed video game bang friend. You may have just taken, I don't know, I have to consult the record books, but I don't think we've had a sweeter mustache ever in like 5 years of running this show than the one you are rocking right now. Taylor Balbi, what's going on, man?
Not much. I think you got to step up your mustache game on the show. This is the best you can do so far.
It's timeless. So why do you have the stash right now? Usually it's a Movember thing, but we are still in August, I believe.
Because nobody sees it when I leave the house. It's just for fun. It looks terrible in person. Way better on camera.
I respect that so much that, you know, we're in quarantine time. So, I mean, most people don't shower. I don't change my clothes except for this show. So what you see me in right now is what I'm in for the entire week. If you watch the show on twitch.tv/videogame_bang. But, like, you could be anything you want to be right now. You don't see nobody. DoorDash you don't even have to answer the DoorDash guy anymore. He just drops it on the porch and runs away. And you choose to have that mustache. I fucking respect that. You are the man. I don't know how to follow that up. We just spent like three.
I feel like that was rude. I feel like it was an insult. I feel like it was a backhanded compliment. And I don't think you should take it, Taylor.
I think if we have 5 minutes left towards the end of the show, we just talk about that mustache because it is glorious. Also joining us on the show, if you're watching us, like I said, like on Twitch, you see he is. I don't know what's going on with Curtis. This isn't normal Curtis. He's got the hoodie up. He's got sunglasses on. I know that the Kings took a beating today, bro, but you gotta smile through it, man. You gotta be happy. Basketball's back.
Man, you know, ain't really nothing to smile about, man. What was that Common album? Common put out an album, and it was like him grimacing, and it was like, ain't no reason to smile. That's like my anthem right now. Ain't no reason to smile. Well, I got half a reason to smile. See, my Kings are terrible, unfortunately, but my Kings guard in the playoffs. Don't have to try to get into the playoffs. They're doing great. They've been putting up some really interesting and fun content on their channels as far as Twitter and everything. So that's the only thing I can remotely be happy about when it comes to anything regarding Sacramento.
I love that about Sacramento Kings. It seems like they're like other franchises, their like brother sister franchises are always so dominant. Like the Monarchs were like the best. That was the 93 Bulls of WNBA there when you had Rubo and Tisha Penichero and all those killers. Yeah. And then, you know, they went away. And now we got this baller 2K team, but our team can barely scrap the playoffs, man. I don't know what's going on. We need to put that level of effort, that B team effort, up into the Kings. Also joining us.
We need to.
We need to. Yeah. We have to. Also joining us on the show, we have Lexie, the specialist JPR. How's things going in PR land?
Pretty good, you know.
This seems like the hardest time to be a PR manager. How do you deal? How do you get through the day?
Yeah, there's days that are harder than others, I'll say. Days where our clients want other things and the customers want another thing. So I just kind of keep up with everything in the industry and try to find new ways to innovate, I guess. It kind of helps me have a breather.
As someone who does this for a living too, I got some really good advice for you. And this is, you can use this anywhere you do PR, social media. Just make it go viral. That's it.
Yep.
So
That's true.
Whenever you have an idea, or your boss has an idea, just make it go viral for them, and you'll never be searching for a job. Easy.
That's true. Wise word.
Yeah, wise word. I'm telling you. And then joining us, Emmaskies has so much to celebrate. Tell us about your big surprise here. You just got a big surprise today.
I have this fancy new chair.
A gamer chair?
Gamer chair.
Let's go. Well, let's not say the name.
People, actually.
Let's not say the name of the brand, because we only talk about Taboo Ohana by name on
Secret
here.
Labs. It's a Secret Labs
No,
chair.
it's not a Secret Labs chair. That's not even a brand. They didn't pay us. Emma, they didn't pay us. Actually, Taboo Ohana didn't either, so I guess we're fair. But Ohana means family. But you got the Secret Labs chair adorned with Batman stuff? What?
Hell yeah. I have been drooling over this chair for a year, and I joke all the time about how it is hunting me down. This chair stalks me. It is everywhere. It's on my Instagram. It's on my Facebook. It's on my email. It is. I get these targeted ads fucking constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel set up a whole thing. She coordinated a months-long campaign to get people together and come together
pitch
and
in to buy. I mean, because we know, let's be honest. Let's get to brass tacks. There's no way you're affording a chair like that. That is a nice chair.
No, I'm poor. I'm poor.
It's a leather bound chair with embroidered Batman logos and stuff. That's not Emma
That's why I've been
chairs.
drooling over it for a year, not sitting on it for a year.
You can see the picture of your old chair on your Twitter, which was pretty sad. Now I understand why. It wasn't even like a gift as much as it felt like charity after I saw that chair. At first,
I've had that chair for 11 years. I got it at Staples for $80.
Wow.
And it's a nightmare. It's horrible. It's actually physically caused me a lot of pain over the last couple of years.
Did Rachel tell you that we collected the money on Kickstarter? It was a GoFundMe, actually. We just.
Wow. I heard she went through the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I love the Make-A-Wish people. So we have a great show to talk about. Tons of stuff going on in there. That's why I like doing the show on Fridays, because you get to see what happens through the week and the stuff that falls by the wayside that may not have been important. It just seems like Friday is the best day. And today we witnessed the return of the Doc. Dr. Disrespect made his comeback to streaming. And
did any of us watch the? Do any of us care?
I think I
mean, I watch.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's kind of relevant to my job.
I just want to know what's going on.
Whatever.
Tell me what's going
It's just because he's got the same mustache as you.
Why do
It's a proper mustache.
That's fired.
Don't even compare those mustaches. Taylor's mustache is authentically real. I don't even think the Doc's mustache is real. Couldn't even hold a candle.
It's totally real.
Oh, is it real?
Yeah.
Fact check. Can we fact check that one? It was wild though. I don't know if you guys have been following he got banned for no reason. Apparently he came out with a statement saying he has no idea why. People in the media were speculating that it was something really, really bad, but we just couldn't talk about it because no one knows. And on his channel, he is a master. He is a master of marketing. His production quality to this day is unmatched. The thing he did in the alleyway, basically he just released this really cheesy Kung Fury style synthwave thing of slow camera pushing down the stylized alley, cyberpunk style. And then you have this guy in the background singing 80s style, it's out of his hands, but he's in control. It was beautifully done. And then this week he continued on with it, dropped a surprise, basically synthwave stream. He just went live on YouTube, didn't actually appear himself, and had over 300,000. You're the numbers guy, Taylor. What did he get to?
Yeah, the highest that I saw was just shy of 300,000, but I wouldn't be surprised if it peaked over.
Which is crazy because also this same week we had Ninja go live on Twitch, and he hit less than 100, right?
I can get you that number in a sec.
Yeah, look for that number up because we talk Ninja's the end all be all. He's the biggest one in the game. He's been gone for quite a while too. Makes his little comeback stream on Twitch and then gets numbers beat by Dr. Disrespect. Emma, you say you don't care, but a lot of people do. Why don't you care? This would affect you. You're a streamer. This guy's a streamer. Don't you want to see what happens?
No.
Nothing.
I don't like watching streams. I'm not like I don't like Twitch streams.
Okay. That's
So Ninja came back for 2 hours on Twitch, and he peaked at about 100K.
So he peaked at about 100K. Dr. Disrespect didn't even appear on the stream. Hits 300. Goes live today, actually playing games. Goes up to like 500. This is just ridiculous, and yet we still don't know what's up. And that's why as big of a fan as I am, I'm not a huge fan, so let me just say that, but I like him. I respect him, mutual respect. I want to hop on and say like, man, this is killer marketing. He's done a great job. He's crushing it. But because we don't know and the speculatory nature of everything that's going on, I don't want to jump on the bandwagon only to have some big revelations where we're all like, ooh, why were we supporting that? Anyone else have any thoughts? Any thoughts or speculation on what the story is? What's the word on the streets?
I don't think any of us know. And I don't know, like if he wants to say, or if he gets to a point where he can say something, he'll say something. But at this point, it's almost better for him not to. Like he can just thrive on the mystery of it.
Yep.
Interesting. Well, it's something we'll be keeping our eye on. We'll see what happens. But we got tons of other, I guess we'll call it more relevant stuff going on in the news. We have a new announcement for a DC video game from one of our favorites, Rocksteady, who make the Batman games. It was just like one singular image of Superman with like a Suicide Squad logo over his face. I didn't see if there was more beyond that. Who's been tracking this one?
The only thing they posted so far is that picture. So they just posted that picture, and they posted that it's going to be talked about at the DC Fandom event, which is August 21st, I believe. And that's likely we're going to get like a trailer and potentially, hopefully, a release date. But we'll actually get to see what the game is.
It's pretty awesome that it was kept a secret this long. To my knowledge, I haven't heard anything about this. And then knowing that it's the same company.
I think we've known about it for a while.
That it was going to be Suicide Squad?
Yeah, we heard rumors about this like over a year ago. I think we talked about it on the show.
I'm asleep for half the shows.
First
Fucking wrecked.
Yeah. Comic book specialist Curtis, do the Suicide Squad and Superman cross over very often? And if they have, is this a storyline we should be excited for? What do you think's happening?
They cross over far more than is necessary. Pretty much every time Suicide Squad sales start dipping down, they cross over. So
okay.
That's how that goes. I mean, as far as like expecting them in there, I don't know. We'll see. I think it might be a similar thing. Like, they might check the numbers, and when they need a shot in the arm, put old Clark Kent in there and see if they can get things back up. But this is really interesting to me. I mean, obviously with us, being into video games and whatnot as much as we are, and then, my interest in comics, I didn't feel a pulse from this. A pulse for this from anybody that I know, or the people that I talk to in the circles that I'm in at all. So with something like this, I'm just hoping that they, that they're swinging for the fences, because if they're trying to get by on the name and some basic gameplay, I don't know how far they're going to get. But if they have an interesting idea that's maybe a little bit different, and they can kind of sell us on that with some characters that we like. Of course, Harley Quinn is one of those characters, and they're infusing her all over the comics. But even throwing her in a bunch of comics is not really, kind of keeping the sales going, because we're a little far removed from, her movie coming out and then Suicide Squad a few years ago. So it's going to be interesting to see what the hook on this ends up being.
What are you thinking from a story perspective, Emma? Do you want to see? Obviously, we know it's going to have Superman as a part of it. Do you want him to be your playable character? Is he the villain? Are they going to do the old, they think they just did this trick on the Injustice games where it's like, Superman from a different dimension comes through and he's bad. Now you need to take him down.
Well, Superman was bad, like, from the get-go in Injustice. Like, there's a very long story about, like, why Superman is the villain in Injustice. But he's definitely not the playable character in a Suicide Squad game. He's definitely who you're fighting, especially given, like, the graphic makes sense. It's got the reticle on his head. So whether he's the person you're going after or he's the person they're being sent after, I'm more interested in seeing who is going to make up their Suicide Squad. Like, that's what's going to really determine where the story goes. Because there's been so many different iterations of it that I'm just you got to know Harley is going to be in it because she's just the big thing right now. But who else is going to make up that Suicide Squad?
That's a really good question. Who do you want to see?
I just want to see Harley. I want to see Deadshot, and those are really the two big ones. And I can kind of take or leave all the other ones that kind of come and go throughout the time. Katana would be nice to have in, and that's pretty much the extent of my Suicide Squad knowledge. I don't really need Captain Boomerang. I don't really need the other players. As long as I've got the big three that I would like, especially the big two that I would like, then I'm all set.
That's a pretty big thing. I mean, they're putting Suicide Squad on it, so you assume it's going to have to be multiple characters. Taylor, are there particular Suicide Squad members you think would lend themselves mechanically to a video game?
Forgive me, Skip. I couldn't care less about DC.
Get out, ban him.
Wait,
out.
what? Even Batman though? Come on, what about the Batman?
Batman's okay.
You're just swinging all over. You're hitting, you're hitting Skip. You're dissing Emma's chair. Like, dude, what's going on? Okay, I see.
It's not for me.
Did you play any of those Batman? Like, I'm not the biggest DC fan. I'm not even the biggest Batman fan. But those Batman Asylum games were sick. Like, those were good games. So if that's the same company, if they pick the right characters and make the mechanics fun, like, I'm down to play through. In a
as long as it stays with them and it doesn't go to whatever like side company did Origins, we're good.
Facts. These are facts. I have a lot of faith in the developer. Rocksteady's great.
Yeah, I think mechanically, I'm just hoping for a good game. I think if they could just pick some characters, you make variants in the combat system, because that's really what those Batman games were about, right? It was just those sick combat systems. It was a cool little storyline. So this will be cool. Very, very well. The next thing we got to talk about is TikTok. I wanted to bring that one up because we have Emmaskies here, who is a TikTok sensation. She posts to the TikTok, and
Never said that in my life.
that's a stream of revenue you're just not going to have anymore. How are you going to deal?
It's not a stream of revenue I have at all.
Come on. But seriously, though, like TikTok's been pretty huge. I'm pretty bummed. Is it going away? Like, can someone explain it? I don't politic well.
I don't think anybody knows right now if it's going away.
Yeah.
There was an executive order that was signed that basically is supposed to, within the next 45 days, prohibit transactions with Tencent, which owns WeChat. And that's why everybody freaked out in the games industry. They're like, here's all the games that Tencent owns. And it's like every fucking game in the industry.
Yeah.
So none of that is being affected. It's not about video games. It is specifically transactions within the app WeChat, which isn't widely used in America. And then I'm not really sure what the deal is with ByteDance. That one I could not tell you, which is the company that owns TikTok.
Yeah, there's two executive orders. Interestingly, the WeChat one also covers TikTok, even though there's one specifically about TikTok. So ByteDance owns TikTok. So really what it is, they went after TikTok, but they wanted to make sure that TikTok's parent company, which is ByteDance, is also like covered in that executive order. And then as far as the WeChat one, yeah, everybody was freaking out about like, all the game companies that Tencent does own, and Epic Games got brought up as like this crazy, like, oh my God, the whole industry uses Unreal Engine, but Tencent doesn't own Epic Games. They only own like 40 or so % of Epic Games. It's still owned by Tim Sweeney. So that would have been fine anyway.
So am I going to be able to watch my TikTok dances or not?
Yeah. So Microsoft is trying to buy TikTok right now. I imagine they're going to get a sweet deal. There's an estimate of like $30 billion or something incredible like that. But when you think about how much social reach TikTok has, it kind of makes sense.
So they're just trading. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, please, you go first.
I just want to know if I'm gonna play League again.
Yes, League is not affected. You're totally fine.
League of Legends is the cockroach of the video game industry. It'll never die. It'll always be there.
People reached out to the White House, and their response was that these executive orders will not affect the video game industry at all.
I feel
that it's specifically about WeChat and TikTok.
I love Microsoft as much as the next guy, probably a little bit more than the next guy. But like honestly, TikTok is either going to die now because at the hands of Trump, or die a very long and slow mixer death with Microsoft, because I just don't see Microsoft as it currently sits understanding fully what TikTok is and how to like not fuck it up.
It would be like hard to fuck it up at this point though. Like Mixer, they had to build themselves. TikTok is already there and it exists and it is this like incredibly successful platform that they would have to try real hard to mess that up.
But is there a good example of a social media platform changing hands and still succeeding? Because MySpace got bought by Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox, and like that tanked hard immediately after that purchase.
That's because we were all personal friends with Tom.
Tom's the best. His roasts on Twitter, some of the best.
Tom never tried to affect an election. He just wanted to be friends.
The what you were saying, to your point, Emma, yes, a sane thinking person would know that if you buy TikTok, don't touch it, don't update it, don't do nothing, just let it be, just like the Beatles said. But that's not how these companies work, and they're going to get in there and they're going to be like, oh, we can optimize and we can move this around, and we got this really cool technology. You know what the future of TikTok is? AR, and we got these goggles that we're going to throw on, and it's going to end up like tanking the whole thing, ruining the whole spirit, because TikTok is like a rebellious platform, man. It's wild on there, the things that start going viral and happen. Like I still have $30 worth of Dogecoin just sitting around that
oh my god,
I got conned into because of TikTok. It's incredible. Nice. You guys have seen these things come and seen them go. What are you excited for this? Do you want it to go away? Do you even care? What's your final verdict on this one, Curtis? Curtis gets the final say.
I mean, bruh, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we have Vine. It was cool. You know what I mean? I feel like eventually everybody, who is going to be successful moved over to the more stable platform that have been around for longer with YouTube. TikTok, I'm not really tripping off of it. And I'll go and I'll watch some of it, but I don't like, I think it's flavor of the week or month or whatever. The kingdoms fall like all the rest. Don't get me wrong, but long term, I just don't see I don't see what kind of longevity is going to have built. And I know we're at that place where we're turning the corner, and media and how it's being consumed is we're discovering that it's changing, especially with the younger generation. But ultimately, I don't know, people who have money, are gonna need to be the things that sustain it. And I know it's got ads and everything. So for me, it could stay, it can go. I would hate to see it affect the people that are really making money off of it. But once you build a platform and you got an audience that'll follow you, they'll follow you to the next thing for the most part. It's easier said than done, but TikTok can be damn. Word to Skip.
All right.
Skip out.
You heard it. That's it. The next news story comes from Kotaku. A PlayStation showcase game was apparently stolen, says former developers in this update. Taylor, I saw you added this story. I'll let you tell it.
Yeah, so it seems like some former employees of, let me pull it up, of a company for, what was the name of the game? Oh, I totally missed it.
Aeon Must Die?
Yeah, Aeon Must Die, which looks really good, by the way. Sorry, I'm having some throat issues. Some former employees who, I guess, busted their ass to develop this game were never paid, and so they believe that the intellectual property of that particular game has been stolen from them because they haven't been paid, and stolen by the CEO who made some dealings with other companies to get this thing on the platform, which is kind of insane. And it does happen in the game industry, but rarely does the game get this big of a platform and shown when that does happen. So we'll see if that game ever releases, if they're stuck in litigation over it. I know Sony's a pretty straight company when it comes to these things, so we'll see.
This is the exact reason I don't like Lizzo. Believe it or not, this is the exact reason I don't like Lizzo. Because she's a one-hit wonder, first of all. She had that song come out.
truly not.
She's really a one-hit wonder. She'll only be remembered for Truth Hurts. And the thing that made that song
Oh my god.
the thing that made that song popular was that first line that I just took a DNA test, turns out I can't even remember the lyric. It's
400%.
yeah, I'm 100% bad bitch or something like that. Whatever.
That
However,
was wrong.
is that really wrong?
Yes.
Oh, well, anyways, whatever. Anyways, she was co-writing that song with a whole other team before it got like remixed and produced by whoever made it popular. And she didn't credit the people who wrote most, including the person who like wrote that line for her, like did half the lyrics. And so it was the same exact thing. She went to a different, avenue, released a song with different people and tried to leave out the people she left behind. And I just
That line was from a tweet, wasn't it?
No. Well, there's the song where that line originated from is debatable, but she co-wrote that song with another people. More lyrics than that. That's the only lyric that I remember. But
why is this the second time we've had this conversation on this podcast?
Because
why are we doing this again?
Because you know what? I wouldn't steal a DVD, just like I wouldn't steal a car, just like I wouldn't steal song lyrics. It's all about protecting your intellectual properties. And Lizzo is she's a thief. She scammed that guy. Or
Cory has like no idea who Lizzo is, so you don't get to listen to him on this.
And she ripped that hook off of Black Beatles. So that
literally has no idea who Lizzo is.
That song is just a scam. But what is this? Did they actually create assets for it, or is it just like, I came up with the character's name? Did they kind of release any details like that?
Yeah, so I guess they were working and like putting in crazy crunch hours, building out assets and whatnot. I think it was the art director. Let me pull up the article again. Oh gosh, we talked about a lot, didn't we? Yeah, and so they left because they weren't being paid, and then the game just shows up on this Sony showcase of what's to come.
Scandalous. We should have evolved past this by now, but we haven't, alas. The next news story we got in here it's a happier one. This is a feel-good story. World of Warcraft adds an NPC memorial honoring Twitch streamer Reckful. I don't play this game, but I know who Reckful is because he kind of was a lot bigger than Warcraft in his career. But how significant is this? Any World of Warcrafters in here that have seen this?
I think that's a resounding no.
Yeah, I don't play World of Warcrafters, but Reckful is one of the most prominent competitive World of Warcraft players. Certainly one of the best that there ever was. And so I think it's really cool that they've immortalized him in the game, which they've done with other people in the past as well, which is, I think, an awesome thing that MMOs can do. As a rogue trainer, which is what he was known for, being a rogue.
That's awesome. And it's got his name like full hip on there. Like a lot of times they'll bury a little Easter egg for people, but in this case they just put it like front and center. So you love to see it. The next news story we got here is, to shock absolutely no one, Nintendo profits were up, way up. Nintendo reported its full year sales ended in March 31st and were $12.31 billion, 9% from the $11.30 the year earlier. You got to assume it's because of the COVID. Like,
do you remember how impossible it was to find a Switch at the beginning of this year?
Yep.
That was crazy. They were sold out everywhere.
Sold out, yep.
Animal Crossing blew up. Everybody, it was the perfect time for a game like Animal Crossing to release. Like, they're in the history of video games, I don't think there's ever been a better time to release. And then what else? Ring Fit Adventures is
I forgot about that.
Sold out, I think. I don't even know. Nintendo's been crushing it with this whole stay-at-home thing.
Emma, any interest now in getting into the Nintendo game? You're famously, neutrally anti-Nintendo, but I mean, you can't argue with these results.
I'm still neutral to Nintendo. I'm glad everybody's having fun. I have nothing against it. I don't know why you guys won't just let me be neutral to Nintendo.
Because
aggressively neutral.
Aggressively neutral. Thank you, Curtis. Yeah, you're very aggressive with your neutrality.
If one of you wants to spend the $300 to buy me the Switch, Have
Wow.
at it. But I'm not spending $300.
Everybody pitches in to
on a
buy her
Switch.
one chair, and now everyone's got to buy her Nintendo Switch.
Next year, Emma.
Yeah,
Maybe next year.
Wow.
Here's the funny thing. It was it no, not this Christmas that passed, the other one. I was this close to talking to Webb and Cory and being like, hey, let's get him a Switch. And
Wow.
we did that episode where you were talking about you were aggressively neutral and this and that. And I kept trying to get you to play Smash and you wouldn't. And that's when it died inside of you. We ain't pitching. We ain't doing it. She ain't gonna like it. She ain't gonna play it. She won't play with us. Nah. So that's where it died. He was this close, Emma. He was that close.
No, I am like, I just don't, it's not something that I feel strongly enough about to spend the money on. Like, if I don't really care, why would I go out of my way to spend, $300 to $500 on a system that I don't need? I don't know why.
You don't know the joys. Well, one, you don't need no system. None of us need no systems. Let's be very clear about that. Two, you were just a belly aching about wanting to play Animal Crossing with everybody. You talked to us. You before the show, during the show. I saw the social media posts. I'm like, you look like the kid at the dance that's over there on the wall with your head down, waiting for someone to ask you to dance. And I was that close, but I was like, she ain't gonna play it. She talking bad about Nintendo, and now here we are. So I don't know. Who knows?
Animal Crossing was like the one where I was like, this is the only time I've ever kind of wished I had a Switch. And then I had to think about it. I was like, I'm not going to go out and buy a system for one game. And like, I'm just not going to do it. And now I don't need to because, xCloud is coming and I can play my Xbox mobilely.
That is that actually stirred up some news stories too. Did you hear that it's not going to be compatible with iDevices?
You're lying to me.
No, for real. They just came out during the Samsung conference. And
no, this is not a lie. Don't do this to me. I feel like you're all full of shit, so I gotta fact check this.
Please fact check.
Anyone's fault but Apple.
What was the actual reason, Taylor?
Basically, the service of offering these games or whatever doesn't comply with the terms for like selling products on the platform. So something related to Apple still wanting their 30% cut, which is a massive cut. And, Microsoft's definitely not willing to part with that because it's incredibly expensive to run these types of streaming platforms, as Microsoft found out with Mixer.
This is bullshit. What is this?
Did a large part of your strategy here hinge on Apple devices?
It was going to be my iPad and my iPhone.
Yeah. Same.
That's what I have. This is bullshit. Now they got time to fix this. They got to come to some sort of agreement.
They can.
It's some bullshit.
It's straight up just policy with the Apple Store, and I think I read something like they'd have to manually approve every single game that gets added or something, and there's just some other.
They just got to add a new algorithm. This
just add an algorithm, says the person who's never probably made an algorithm.
Write a new program. It exists. So you can do it.
Just make it viral. Just make it go viral, and then it will be.
I'm making a new algorithm right now. See,
perfect.
Algorithm incoming.
No, but that's one of those things where they come out and they say well, with our current system, we would have to manually add in every single one. I was like, okay, then make a new system.
Well, no. It's like they could automate it, but due to their terms of service, it would break their code or something. So it's not even an algorithm, Emma. They just need to Control-Alt-Delete a couple things in a Word doc somewhere, and then they can fix it.
We got time, because that's a big player base to lose.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed about it. Now I have to go dust off my old Surface One or come up with some other janky hardware that I have laying around the house. I was definitely looking forward to having it on the iPad, and it's even worse because they've been beta testing it with iDevices so far. And
that's why I thought you were full of shit.
Yeah, no, I've seen people streaming on iDevices, so I was stoked. And I just this last week bought the Games Pass Ultimate thing, $15 a month, so I can get the xCloud and everything. So now I gotta back that thing down, flip it, and reverse it, and figure out what the hell to do.
Yeah, they're gonna lose out on revenue from having Game Pass and Stadia. So they're shooting themselves in the foot.
thing.
I guess. I mean, what did they get out of it? And I think didn't in the last year or two that they really tried to push their mobile Apple gaming thing. Like, I thought I read somewhere that they were taking gaming seriously now too.
And nobody cared.
I mean, they have I think they just call it arcade, right?
Yeah, arcades. Thank you. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't use iPhones, but yeah, they were taking like mobile gaming seriously, but not really the streaming gaming service seriously.
It is unfortunate, but it's going to be the future, I think. And I think they're laying it out perfectly too. They're making an okay size deal about it, but it's not the whole thing like Stadia did. Stadia was like, all right, this is the idea in the future, and you got to use this because there's no alternatives. They're still pumping Xbox, in the new console and stuff at the same time, if not more, because they want to get as much of those sales out of the way too, because this might be the last console if xCloud takes off. They could put like $100 console together for the next package and just sell all xCloud, and it would just destroy. But they're not betting big on it like it's not a home run thing. I think they're playing the marketing of this super smart, and I think that's the way, because I don't think it's going to be out the gate, the new Mecca. I think it's going to take time. There's going to be an adjustment period of us all learning and coping with it and struggling through it, but then it's a long-term play.
There's also like the huge downside of streaming games, which is latency. Right, and even small latency services like Shadow, which is here in Northern California, it's still noticeable in like a shooter or a fighting game. So there's like whole demographics of gamers that like aren't going to have a very good competitive time playing them. But like single player, third person stuff like Assassin's Creed, that stuff is fantastic on things like Stadia or or will be on xCloud.
And next story is this game. It's a new game taking the world by storm. Came out of nowhere. Of course, I'm talking about Bug Snacks, everybody. No, not Bug Snacks. It was Fall Guys. We're in the era of these really bright, cheery, goofy, wild games. Seeing Groundlings.
Your favorite.
Well, I mean, I will say I've had some fun. Groundlings? Grounding? What was it? Grounded? Grounded was fun. That was really fun. Bug Snacks is probably going to be amazing, but this Fall Guys game is incredible, guys. I saw everyone. I'm really impressionable. I saw a bunch of people who I respect playing it, and I was like, it's only $20. I'll buy it. Bought it, and it's been my new unhealthy addiction working from home. I constantly have another window open playing Fall Guys. Have you guys watched it? Anybody else here own it yet?
I want to play it. I saw you playing it, and it interested me because I was like, oh, that seems like my type of game. But then I saw you were frustrated, so I was like, I need to hear.
That's part of the fun. The frustration is part of the fun. It's the, oh, damn it, okay, I'll try again. It's pretty good. I've only played one game. It was awesome. I'm really looking forward to diving into that thing. No actual pun intended, but there's a wonderful clip posted on their official Twitter of a bug. So for those that don't know, at the very end, so basically it starts out with a bunch of people and it whittles down the group until it's a smaller group. And then they do this last competition where they have to run up a hill and dodge some obstacles and things, very Wipeout style. But at the end, you have to jump and grab onto this crown. But if you jump a little bit too high, you'll grab the edge of the crown and you'll stand on top of it instead of actually winning.
Oh.
So it's it's the saddest thing, and I'm here for it. I love it. They should leave that bug in the game.
Their social media has just been fire too. They did the right thing and they found the Zoomer kid who is just a meme lord and handed over the keys to their account and let them run wild, because they've just been just chopping it up. Walmart even got into the game. The official Walmart Twitter put out a thing of one of the characters in a Walmart vest and was like, hey, how do we get into this game? And it's just been good to see. You love to see it. It's like Taylor said, you're playing these little blob looking, characters with crazy costumes. There's only basically 3 buttons for the game, so it makes it accessible for any input method or even age level, because it's just grab, jump, and dive. and they have one map that's like Rocket League. They have tons of like obstacle jump through the hoop things. You work your way down from 60 each round. People get eliminated till you work to a 1. So it's like Battle Royale meets Mario Party, I guess would probably be one of the better ways to put it. And
Great.
yeah, and it's free this month on PlayStation. So if anybody here has the PlayStation like subscription, you could play it for free. It's $20 on Steam. A lot of people streaming it. And I don't know. I just think overall this is the kind of stuff you like to see. Emma, what do you think about the format? Are you intrigued with Mario Party meets Fortnite?
No. I mean, it looks fun. I love a good party game. It actually looks very fun. If it's free on PlayStation, like I'll definitely be getting it there. But it's not one of those things that I'm like rushing to go out and get because 8 million other people are playing it, so I'm gonna go play it.
Just be influenced by other people more. It makes life way more interesting.
Isn't it like $20?
$20 on PC.
PC?
Yeah.
$20 is $20.
Wow.
Ubisoft and Parsec are partnering. The giant game developer and publisher will be partnering with Parsec, a remote streaming developer, to develop a new gaming experience through streaming. Ubisoft will leverage Parsec's pioneering technology to advance its game streaming efforts, using Parsec to power in-game experiences, demonstrations, events, and other endeavors, as told by a different press release. This one seemed interesting just because it's weird to see Ubi, of all people, trying to come up with like a new streaming system. Mm-hmm. Did you follow this one at all, Taylor? This seems like it would be like something you'd be all over.
I haven't really followed the Ubisoft side of it, but Parsec is awesome. I was actually just talking to Jay. You guys know Jay. He was talking to me about how fighting games have atrocious netcode, and everybody knows that, even the developers, I'm sure, sadly. But that like the fighting game community has been using Parsec to play local multiplayer across the internet, which I think is brilliant. I know he's going to be testing it out, I think, tomorrow. I gave him access to a shadow so that he can like give it a shot.
So that's what we need. We need more of that innovation going on in this industry. And then before we wrap this thing up, I want to go through and bring back a riveting round of what you playing. And we're going to start with our girl down there, Minty. What you been playing?
Well, I played this new game called Magic Cat, and it was on Steam.
You say Magic Cat or Magic Hat?
Cat. It's like Magic Cat. It's like a Mario type game. It's really fun.
Wait,
Other than League, I haven't played in all League, so.
Where did you find this game? In the Amazon?
It was on Steam.
Where do you find your games in the weirdest places? You go to the library, Amazon, like Epic Game Stores out there, right?
I mean, I have that now too. So because of your recommendation, because I mean free games.
That's
so
true.
Plug that again. But it's like MAGI and Cat, Magic Cat.
And
that only just clicked for me.
I've been playing
kind of like a Mega Man.
Yeah.
It plays like.
Is it a mobile game, or do you actually play this like on your TV, or how does this thing work?
No, it's a PC. I play it on my laptop. It's pretty fun. I've been trying to stay from League for a second. I needed to release some stress. So, but this weekend I will be playing League Hardcore. So
I'm glad I actually got to catch one of your streams, like I think a week ago.
Thank you. Yeah, it's boring sometimes. I try, guys.
I just liked the part of actually hearing your we can kind of tell when you talk about League on the show, but you really have maybe some issues you need to work out, because your anger can really start flowing through these matches when you I love hearing like this really salty side of you coming out on some of those matchups.
Oh my gosh, they make me so mad. I feel like that meme. Like anytime somebody makes me mad, I'm like, oh my god, like that's how I feel, like face palm. But this weekend I'll play some more ranked matches. I just took a break because I needed it. Like it was pretty toxic, so.
I fully feel that. I get that. I have to do that with Overwatch. Emmaskies, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Destroy All Humans.
Ooh.
You seemed really excited about that game. I didn't take you for a huge fan. What's your history with the franchise?
I just really love Destroy All Humans. I really love that game. It came out in like when it came out, I had it on the original Xbox. It's sitting on my shelf behind me. I still have the game. And my mom and I played it a lot. And I got the remaster and then I bought it for her.
This is going to be really embarrassing. This will be like, things.
What else is new?
This will be like, well, shut up. This is kind of like that thing where you can get your gamer card taken away, but I couldn't even tell you what a Destroy All Human game plays like. What's the point of it? Is it a shooter?
It's funny because going in, I remembered two things very vividly, and it was electrocuting people until their brains popped out of their head and throwing cows.
Wait.
And that's the two things that I was like, this is what I love about this game. And like, there's a story and there's a whole thing, but it's kind of one of those where like the story is, just kind of there to let you kill things and do things. But yeah, it's electrocuting people and mind controlling people and getting their brains and throwing cows and drowning people. And like, you get extra points. Like I got to a point today where I was like, you'll get extra points if you kill them by throwing them into the ocean and drowning them. And you're an alien and you're here to destroy all the humans.
How come it's not okay when the game is called Postal and you do that, but it is okay when you're playing a game called Destroy All Humans?
Context. Societal context.
Wait, so is this compared to like the movie Emma back in the day, like Mars Attacks or something? That's what it reminds me of.
It's funny because as soon as we started playing this, everybody in chat was like, our movie night needs to be Mars Attacks. Like that's what it has to be. That's what we're doing.
It's a cool movie.
It's Tim Burton's best film.
So yes, I would recommend. It's a $40 game. It's not a full 60. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. It's a good kind of like, cartoony, gonna go in, shoot some things. The writing is very funny. The voice acting is very, very good. It's just a really fun, clever, silly game.
Is there a campaign that you go through, or is it just a series of? Okay.
Yeah, it's a narrative story all the way through. And it's like you collect the brains because your alien species is dying out because you've lived based on cloning for so long because you can't like sexually reproduce. Like it literally tells you they can't sexually reproduce. So you live based on cloning, and like the whatever DNA strand you're using is deteriorating. But at some point in the very distant past, your race went to Earth and commingled with humans, and now every human on Earth has your alien DNA in them. So if you go and collect enough brains and you'll save your species, it's like a whole thing.
Wow.
And that's why you kill everybody and take their brains.
I got to pop by your stream as well, I think about a week ago, and you were doing all of your ranked matches, or you're doing your placements for Overwatch.
My God.
How did that end up going? Where did you rank?
Not well. So I haven't played Overwatch in 18 seasons. And I was like, fuck it, let's go. I'm going to do all 10 of my placements. And I said that, and somebody was like, they don't do that anymore. You have to do 5 for each role. And I was like, this is how long it's been since I played. I don't know how the game works anymore. Yeah. And I play silver in all 3 roles.
Really?
It's a bad time.
That was surprising because I thought the matches I spec'd, I thought mechanically for a controller, your aim was really good. Like surprisingly good for a controller.
Wow, thank you.
And I thought your game sense and positioning, well, to put this in gamer terms, was ass. But if you were in the right spots with the way you were aiming, like that's it. You're pretty much a plat level player minimum. So
wow, thanks.
Impressive because I played Halo this last week with David Webb, and I realized it's not crossplay yet. I couldn't play on the PC, so I had to go to the Xbox, sit in the living room like a weirdo, and play with a controller. And it was hard. Like we thought, maybe legendary, because I'm like, I'm a Gosu gamer at this point. Let's go legendary, baby. No, not at all. I don't know how.
Wow, you suck.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm terrible with the controller. We slid it down to like heroic so we could at least kind of enjoy the game.
That's embarrassing.
I don't know how you do it. Like, I kind of need to see like a tutorial of tips and tricks on how to actually get accurate aim, because I felt like an old man. I felt aged. I felt like my dad probably felt when I had him come in and play video games. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do with this thing.
I have notoriously bad aim, so it's hilarious that Cory thinks I have good aim. The funniest part of it, though, so I placed silver in all of my placements. It was really bad. And it's hard. I placed lowest in support, which is what I thought I would do best in, but it's hard because when you're DPS or your tank, you can kind of help carry, like you kind of help move things along. But when you're support, like you are entirely dependent on your team doing what they're supposed to do. And if they're not, then like you can't do much. But so I brought Kitty in, and she had to find a different account so she could play with me, because she was like, I don't think any of my accounts are low enough to play with you. So she had to find a different account and get into a game with me, and she refuses to ever do it again. She's like, I will never play in silver. We're never doing comp again. Like, she will not do it. She won't come back. It's if you're used to playing well and you're used to playing high tier, going into silver and gold is really hard. And it's really hard to rank out of those for the same reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly like League. I agree. Because I have friends in higher tiers too, and they'll be like, let me duo with you on my like Smurf account or whatever, and they're like, oh my god, like who are these people? Like, this should be an easy game, like we should win this. And then people will like just throw the game, and they'll be like, yep, going back to my Ela.
The amount of games I had where like somebody left and then just their entire team left after that was upsetting.
Yes, I had several games like that. Definitely.
Yeah, I think I need to message Kitty and just tell her to get good, because if you're not carrying in silver, I mean, she
was trying so hard, but like as one person, there's not a whole lot you can do if the rest of the team is fucking around and doesn't care.
Well,
Yeah.
I hold her to higher standards because I happen to know she's like higher ranked than me in PC, so she you got to give her kudos for stepping across to the inferior platform to even attempt to carry you. That was funny listening to your guys' dynamic, though, because I've been in her spot when you don't want to discourage your friend, and you weren't doing anything inherently wrong, but the games you had were just so trash, and not like just completely demolish the game and try and like, oh, we're having fun, we're still having fun.
I mean, I am. It's a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Taylor, what you been playing?
Dude, I'm still going way too hard on Diablo 3. Like, it's a problem.
People still play that, huh? What keeps you coming back?
I mean, I come in and out of it. I think the last time I really played it was like January or something like that. But I don't know. It's just mindless. It's easy. It's fun. They
announced that the BlizzCon digital experience, I think, is going to happen early next year. Are you expecting Diablo news?
Oh, of course. I mean, every IP that they're working on that we know about is going to have some kind of information. I would love to see them announce at least one of the remaining classes. They've only shown 3. There's 2 left to show. I would expect probably Paladin and Necromancer to be the 2 classes, because it seems like they're like going back to the Diablo 2 vibe instead of the Diablo 3 vibe, which I appreciate. People are still angry about Diablo Immortal. Like, come on. Like, it looks awesome.
Come on.
Mobile Diablo game.
Don't you have a phone?
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor, thank you for that. Anything else you've been playing, though? Come on, man. You got to bring us some heat. I know you play new stuff.
Damn, he said not good enough.
Not really. I have the collector's edition for Ghost of Tsushima, but I haven't started playing it because my PlayStation's like packed somewhere in the garage. I'm probably going to start playing some Fall Guys, and I'm looking for something to play with some more people, like something multiplayer that I can play with my friends.
Fall Guys, that's the feature they need right now, is like a party system. Like, there's no way to join up that I've seen or run custom games, and I think that's the huge selling point for that one. It's not Fortnite. You don't have to worry about the competition aspect of it. People just want to have fun with their friends.
Yeah, it's not serious at all.
Yeah. In fact, I'm using this is the controller I dug out to play Fall Guys. Most people on there rocking the PlayStation. I pulled out the 8-bit Super NES Yeah, the one right there. Curtis got the same one. I actually got this at Curtis's recommendation.
Curtis went for the Japanese one, though. I see that.
Yeah. Famicom.
Yeah.
Super Famicom joint. Yeah.
These
Yeah,
things.
I loved the buttons on the Super Famicom. I wish they had done the same colors in North America.
These things are fantastic pieces of technology. I just got to say, the retro wave of electronics, like that analog company did that. It basically is the size of a Game Boy Color, and it's all modern, like decked out with a nice backlit screen, looks super slick. And it must have been on everybody's ads. I would love to see their marketing budget, because we all must have scrolled past it at one point. But they sold out in 15 minutes, and it received a bunch of backlash of just like angry people trying to get this thing. Did anybody else see this or try and grab one?
Yeah. I tried to cop one, but like trying to buy shoes, I took an L.
Did you see how much it was though?
Yeah, it's expensive, and that's like, I was surprised it sold out so quickly, because it's $200 for the handheld, which I get, that makes sense. The thing's dope, but then it's like $100 for what was it, the dock or whatever, so that you could dock it.
Yeah,
and then it was like $30 for each additional external cartridge type that you want to support, like an adapter. It was just like crazy expensive. And then I think $30 just for a USB-C charger. Like, get out of here.
Did you see how they were getting away with, like, what games were you going to play on that? Was it going to be ROMs?
No, so it plays the actual cartridge. So like you actually
I
kick
didn't
in
even know
your
that.
cartridge.
So it plays the actual cartridges. There's no way to play like scuffed versions of games. Not that I would ever do that.
I mean, technically you could buy a cartridge that takes takes a little like SD card or whatever. You could. There's a way. I won't go into detail.
Yeah. No. Me and you don't have to do that here on this podcast. But maybe in theory, after the show, we talk about some ways that may or may not be possible, just to theorize.
There is a way. It's like super cool. It's a great way to like bring retro technology back into like modern day.
Yeah.
Atari's got their console coming out that's probably $200 more expensive than it needs to be. It's like $350 or something. I love that kind of stuff. I'm a huge fan of like old school consoles. I have a big collection.
Curtis, we'll end it with you, man. What you been playing? It's got to be 2K, because you got to be getting out that frustration. Because if your Kings can't win in IRL, you got to take it to the pixels.
Yeah, man. I took a break from 2K for a minute. I was playing a bunch of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Like I said, going through that. Started going through the Fantastic Four DLC, and I dusted off my 2DS.
Ooh.
Not the clamshell one. I'm talking about the Wedge.
Yeah.
I dusted off my 2DS, and I was playing some Resident Evil Mercenaries 3D. Because, I like a shooter too, but, I ain't trying to deal with all the craziness that y'all got to deal with. So I was just capping zombies. and then, I broke out 2K again. I started playing 2K on my Switch, which is, I don't know why. I just wanted to play it on there. And then it made me get it on the PlayStation. So last night I jumped on. It's funny. I was just DMing Yusuf from the Kingsguard, like, hey, man, I had a killer night last night. I'm ready to go. And he's like, all right, we in the playoffs, so let me get through the playoffs. And we can play. I'm like, all right, I feel that. So, yeah, man, that's kind of been my games. Just Marvel Ultimate Alliance, unlocking characters, leveling things up. I got Thanos, so that's cool. And then just a little bit of Mercenaries 3D. And then, just going up there. Actually, it's funny because my big player, this is what I always put him in. I give him a white hoodie with glasses, and I pull the hoodie up. So I look exactly like my 2K player right now.
Dude, did you watch The Last Dance?
Oh, of course, yeah.
What did you think? Honest breakdown. Give me like the Spark Notes, your review of it.
Oh, it was incredible. It was an incredible documentary. I mean, like, aside from the greatness of Michael Jordan and everything it was, and, being young and watching all that stuff happen earlier, and then getting to take a peek behind the veil, or so many of the rumors that you heard later on, like them being confirmed in one way or another, or being denied. But I mean, if we're talking about a documentary, the way it was shot, it was put together and assembled, was great storytelling. And then to peek in, on anytime people do something great, everybody's a person in real life. So everybody's got their flaws. If we were to separate, the person from the accomplishments, and we purely look at the accomplishments, you get to take a look at true greatness and what it takes to be that great, and even a lot of the hurdles that it takes. I mean, playing, a NBA Finals game on Father's Day, the year after. I mean, the year of your father dying, being murdered, and to overcome all that and then win on that day and just pass out on the ground with the trophy in your hand, crying, thinking about the man that introduced you to the game and wanting to share that with them. That's just one part of the documentary, watching him going through that along with everything else. So I'm surprised that it made it to Netflix. I guess my ESPN account be damned that I pay for, but if you have that, if you're into documentaries, even if you're not into sports, if you're just into documentaries and you just want to see something inspirational and moving, I would highly advise that. And also, you get to see the maniac as well as the comedian of Michael Jordan, because he was pretty damn funny in a crazy psychopathic way.
Okay, now listen to Curtis. The way Curtis talked about it, I'm watching it now, about 7 episodes in. First of all, not nearly enough time was spent on Space Jam. I wanted a full episode on that.
They did do a whole episode on it. I thought you did you not get there yet?
I've seen him training with people in the little camp there, but it was only like a small section of the episode. It wasn't like the full
like half
thing.
of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted a full episode. I wanted more to see what was going on between him and Bill Murray. Like, I wanted that kind of stuff. The thing I realized
that's fair.
You touched on, though, he was an asshole. Like,
yeah,
he was a big asshole. Which
but he didn't hold anyone else to a standard that he didn't hold himself to.
That's what they keep saying. Mm-hmm. But still, like, he's mean. Like, I would not want to work with Michael Jordan. He seemed like a jerk. But there's a guy out there right now on YouTube named Jake Lucky, and he does this Esports Talk station channel. And this dude grinds. Like, he puts out so many videos. His content is really neutral. Like, he tells both sides. Like, he's really, really good at what he does, and he's lovable. Like, everybody loves this guy. But he put out a tweet, and like everybody turned on him in one tweet. He said, "My advice to anybody who wants a job in esports, gaming, or streaming: ditch the whole Monday to Friday mentality. It's a full-time 7 days a week job, which also means you gotta freaking love it, or you're gonna lose your mind at times. I'm cheering for you." And people just took that, and they just vilified him. Like, making it seem like what you're advocating for is people working and not getting paid. What you're advocating for here is people's, not taking care of their mental health. And I felt bad for the dude, knowing just kind of like probably where it was coming for and seeing his hard work. And he wants to share what's working for him with everybody. And then he gets shit on by a bunch of people who I don't think will attain his level of success, if that makes sense.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're building a business. Like, anybody that's built a business knows that it is a 7 day a week thing. It doesn't matter if you're spending, 8 or 10 hours during the day. Like, you're still thinking about it for the other, remaining hours that you're awake. Like, it really is that. I
think that, and kind of, it's that Michael Jordan thing. Like, I jest because, say he's an asshole, but he is the definition.
But he is, though. No, he is an asshole.
He is. But if you look up winner in a dictionary, like, everybody who's attained Michael Jordan level of success has to be an asshole. Like, has to be obsessed, an unhealthy amount of obsession with what your goal is to reach those results. And I think what Jake put out there in that tweet was kind of Michael Jordan-esque and right. Like, the people who I saw agreeing with him were the people who I'd like their level of success. And the people who were talking shit about it, they got, 2 followers, and they're a social media manager for a tier 3 organization, and it's like, yeah, you're probably always going to be there unless you pick up some of these unhealthy habits. I'm sorry. That's just kind of the way it works.
That's the reality of it. Like, the people that gravitate toward are going to be the people that kind of have that mentality. Just like, there's people that, will start and run companies. There's people that will manage companies. There's the mentality of people that work at companies and kind of be at that level. And it's no knock to anybody. We have the free will to participate in things, at the level that we feel comfortable with. But, and I hate to say it, but the data, the facts are out there. Like if you look at the correlation, between someone like a Steve Jobs and a Michael Jordan and, whoever else, you want to name, usually to get to that level of success, there is a high degree of selfishness, because you do focus so much on that, which means you block out so many other things to stay locked into that. And it's also a huge sacrifice. Like along with the along with the spoils, come the pain. You do miss out on so much time with friends. You miss this dinner. You miss that birthday. You sometimes you miss your kids' birthdays and you miss this and that. So it's up to each individual to decide, what level that that you want to be in. For anybody, I mean, like I would totally respect, I appreciate MJ, but I know I don't have and am not willing to make those sacrifices to be that great. But I respect the hell out of it, and it still does inspire me to be as successful, at the level that I want to be successful at. So it's still inspirational. But yeah, it's true. Those people are usually assholes and they're very self-centered. But the good ones, like Taylor said, they're not asking you to do something that they wouldn't do. And if it's something that you wouldn't do, then you probably want to find another team or someone else's, company to be on, because that's the way they operate.
Curious on Emma's take, just because I remember we had a few issues. We talked about the Ninja tweet, the infamous "it's just a game" is a weak mindset. And, a lot of like that garnered way more negative press attention than this one did. Do you see them as similar, or do you think there's differences between what Jake was saying?
Well, there's differences in the problem with the biggest problem in my eyes with Ninja's tweet was that it was geared toward children. Like his audience is children. This tweet about your career is not geared towards children. So that's already different in my mind. But they had the same problem. Like the two issues had the same problem in that they're a tweet. It's so hard to have nuance in a tweet. So it's one of those where like he probably tweeted it out and the implication, he's like, I don't have to say it because it's implied that like, yes, you take care of your mental health. Yes, you make sure you're not, going to overwork yourself. You try not to deal with burnout, even though it's going to it might happen. Like that, all that stuff is implied. But when you have that limited amount of characters, it's really hard to have nuance there. And that's kind of what makes Twitter really hard. So I really understood, because I think there was a lot to be said in all of the people that were like, all right, you need to be careful how you talk about this, because there is a huge part of this industry where people will take advantage of people that are willing to work 7 days a week for being underpaid and overworked. It's just more than you can say in 280 characters.
Yeah.
So I think it was both sides. Like I see the criticisms of it, and I see what he was trying to say.
He clarified in a follow-up tweet after like the blowback, and he said, a lot of people taking this away I didn't intend. I understand the importance of taking care of your mental health, also needing to be fairly compensated. Work hard, grind, prepare to sacrifice, and take care of your health was simply meant to motivate people. Sorry. He's such a sweetheart, man. I really, really couldn't recommend watching a few of his videos enough. Like they really keep you up to date with esports stuff, because I can't keep track of everything that's going on. And I know pretty much at this point that if I go to his channel, I'll get the spark notes of everything that matters. And he has very, very, very good takes on stuff. So definitely recommend checking out his Esports Talk channel. And that's it. That's the show. Be a winner. Don't be a complainer. Don't be a whiner. Don't be a sucker, more importantly. Like, people talk about getting compensated for your time. I never got that. I understand that companies might want to do that, but please, if you're in a situation where you don't feel what you're bringing to the table is getting you compensated enough, you just got to walk away. Find someone else who will pay you what you are worth. It's just what you got to do. That's why I left my last job. I had a meeting with the boss who told me nobody there would take me seriously because I didn't have a degree. And that's all I needed to hear. I was like, oh, I can't climb here anymore. It's time to fucking get out of here. And it took a while. It wasn't overnight, and I stuck it out, but I applied everywhere. I made that choice in my head that I was in an unhealthy situation with people that didn't appreciate what I brought. So get appreciated. Make sure people are treating you right, because your mental health and everything will suffer. That's all I got for this week. There you go. There's your words of wisdom from Mr. What's Up Pizzas. I want to thank everybody who's on the show right now for bringing your talents and giving us your time. Congratulations on the gaming chair, Emmaskies. Happy birthday to you, young lady. What's your stream schedule?
My stream schedule is Monday at 7, Tuesday and Friday at 4, and Thursday at 6. It's getting complicated. And I will have an actual birthday stream later this month for my birthday. My birthday is not till the 31st.
Exciting. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. Curtis, I assume you're back in full swing with the Sacktown Breakdown. You and Tap holding it down. Where can people find all that beautiful NBA bubble content?
More so tweeting about it than doing videos and stuff yet, because as we all know, my Kings lost again today and only won one game. So my beloved Kings got to earn our time on the YouTube channels and on the Twitch channel, but we're talking about them on Twitter. So you can find us on, any of the major platforms with the exception of Facebook. Just the Sacktown Breakdown. Look us up.
Let's go. Taylor, what you plug in? You never plug anything. It's your time, your moment. Plug whatever you want.
Oh, man. I just want to give a shout out to my coworkers that have been busting their ass on something called Rainmaker, which is for broadcasters to help monetize their stream. Rainmaker.gg. So check it out.
Ooh, is this secret, or can you tell us, give us the elevator pitch?
Yeah. So what we've been working on is a way to connect sponsors with broadcasters in a very seamless manner. It's kind of in a sign up and wait phase right now while we continue to build the thing, but we have been testing it with people. Basically, broadcasters use Rainmaker and sponsors will come and sponsor their streams, and they'll get paid based on their viewership.
Dang.
In a much, much more favorable way than any other platform has done it.
Beautiful stuff. And then rounding us out, Lexie, you mentioned something about streams coming up. Anything else you want to talk about or announce? Or you want to save it for another day?
Let's save it until later this month.
Ooh, I can't wait. But talk about the stream.
I will be streaming this weekend, probably on Saturday or. Oh my God, the week has already gotten away from me. I'm just a day.
It's like Saturday now.
Night at some time. But you can follow me. It's xSpaceMintyX, and it'll probably be in the afternoon or night. Look out for that.
Look out for it. All right, everybody, thanks for listening to the show. If you listen to the show on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify or any of those platforms, and there is an option to do a 5-star rating or a comment, we appreciate those. We read them all, and they mean a lot to us. So please help others find the show by sharing it. Talk about it around the office, the water cooler. The thing I got promoting is for the San Francisco Shock. I want to give them some good luck, some mojo heading into the Countdown Cup, where hopefully we get back to winning tournaments. You can follow us on Twitter at SFShock. We also got a shout out, so we might have some new listeners. My boss, Andy Miller, who is a co-owner of the Kings. He worked for Steve Jobs, incredibly crazy business mind, has a new podcast with Hector, who is Hex, a.k.a. Mr. Optic, who now is co-CEOs with Andy. And just working with the dude, you've learned so much in a short time. And both these guys, and this podcast is called the Duo Podcast, where they go into nerdy detail of the business end of esports. It's a masterclass because... while I speculate, and there's other tons of really good, journalists who report on esports and business and stuff, there's so much they don't know, guys. Being in the esports industry makes it comical reading the articles to see what they get right, because there's stuff speculated on us, and we're like, wow, how do you get that out of it? I listened to all episodes of this Duo podcast, and they're really giving you unfiltered, raw information on what it's like to be in this industry, why they make huge business decisions, and you could even read into the future of our organizations and many, many others just by listening to this. I know that was a huge thing, but just if that's your cup of tea, it's really, really interesting. That's it, though. That's the show. Thanks for listening.
I have one more thing before we stop.
Please.
Because I'm an idiot and forgot that I had to promote something. I'm running another charity stream. I don't know if I mentioned it on the stream before, but I'm running another charity stream, not tomorrow, but the following Saturday, August 15th. I am doing a charity stream for the Humane Society. So if you guys would like to help out, or if anybody would like to just stop by and see what's going on, August 15th, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m, twitch.tv/Emmaskies. They actually reached out to me about joining in on their Stream for All Animals campaign. So that is what we're going to be doing, and it should be pretty fun.
You know what, Emma? You are the Sarah McLachlan of Twitch.
Wow.
All right, we don't want to wait for our lives to be over. We're going to end this thing now. For Curtis, Taylor, Emma, Minty, my name is Cory saying, you've just been banged.